Okay, people of the world, hello. We're going to try and build a cheap one here. A cheap QEG. Okay, there you got the Variac there, about €300. And here we've got some Chinese shit. This little thing here. Variable speed controller. This is €1 from China. And next day delivery by DHL, $483. Gosh, cheap, isn't it? €1 this. Okay. I've got a bigger one there. It's got a fuse in it. That one's €3. So let's get rid of that Variac. We've saved €300. Got a power supply, our variable speed controller, bridge rectifier. Now this Chinese shit is €1 from China, so I made my own. This one cost €2. By the time I got those and the diodes and everything and my hot plastic thingy, so it's cheaper to buy the Chinese shit. €1. Obviously DHL, €350 next day. Something like that. So I've got a amp meter, I've got a voltmeter on the bridge rectifier. This motor, I found it in this treadmill. I saw a fat old woman and I asked her if she had a treadmill. She says, of course I got one. She said, look, I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost 600 grams in 3 years. I don't need it anymore. So she gave it to me. Took the motor out. And here we have 1 horsepower, 180 volt DC. Didn't cost anything. I reckon you can get them for about €50. Okay, so Variac, bridge rectifier, motor, 1 horsepower. Don't know if you can see the details on that. This stupid camera is, this Chinese shit doesn't focus very well. Now, exciter coil. Beauty, isn't it? Go and find yourself a 4-inch sewage pipe. Make sure no one's looking and cut a bit off. This is 4-inch. And Mr. James Ratatouille, he's got 4 3/4 inch, so cut it a bit longer, 3 inches longer, wind it a bit more, and there we are. At the bottom I'm going to leave enough room to put the spark gaps. So there we are, exciter coil ready. Now here, there's our beast from America. Now there's a dodgy little number. Polaris make the stator and the rotor $980. Okay, $980 ready, stator and rotor. Torelco $2,995. So they're charging $2,000 to wind a coil. Now, coil of wire, 10 gauge, you're going to need 1 kilo and 1 kilo. 1 kilo of coil is €15. So you've got €15 and €15. 3,100 turns of, I think it's a 20 gauge. Okay, you need 4 kilos and 4 kilos. Total weight 10 kilos of coil. €150 for the coil of wire. The mica plate, which I have here, I've got some mica plate just delivered actually, cost about €10. Let me have a look. Let me just get one out for you. Here we are. Mica, they use it for microwave ovens. You can find loads of it in microwave ovens. €15 mica plate. Now we need mica tape. This bloody fucking this stuff is $15 for one of these, so that's, you're going to need at least 10. So there goes $150 for the mica tape. Aluminium blocks, you don't have to have them that deep, inch and a half. You're not using it. You're going to need about half an inch, and then you can put your end plates on. Get some aluminium of this stuff and build it up. Say you need 4 of these, 5 of these for each one. Just build it up as you go. You're only going to need 1 centimeter of wrap on that, and you've got 5 there. But anyway, that's another story. So $2,000 for a bit of copper, mica tape, mica plate, okay, and then this fiberglass thingy, blocky thingy, dummy, and bolts and this kind of rubbish. You can pick up for peanuts. Get a rod of 8-inch 6mm and make your own. I reckon the core you can build. A cheap little toroid winder, you can make one, guys. 500 euro to make the, so I reckon for 1,100 euro you can build that. But we will see. Mr. James Ratatouille is getting resonance everywhere. All I can hear is people clapping that they've got resonance, shoving a load of bulbs on there and getting a load of resistors and getting some light. And he's got 9 kilowatt of vars but no power. So I'm waiting for this transvestite thing that he's building, and we're all on tender hooks. The whole world is sitting on waiting for Mr. Ratatouille and his transvestite thing to get us going. Capacitors, any capacitor will do, in parallel, in series, whatever. I found 630 volt, 2.2 microfarads. I found 100 of them for 30 euros. I'll put them in series and parallel, and I get 25,000 volts, 0.125 microfarads. Now, lamps, I didn't put any lamps because I'm waiting for Mr. Ratatouille's transvestite thing to convert real energy, and then I'll put it back into here, and then I got me self running, and then I can run me house, me hotel, me boat. So come on, Mr. Ratatouille's end of July, and Hope Girl, got some hope there, haven't we? 4 months, and all we've heard is resonance and people street shouting and screaming. Come on, get on with it. Alright, I'm going to switch this on now. Here we are. This is my Variac. Let's switch it on. Okay. Right, here we go. There's my Variac, €1. And I'm going to speed it up. Now I'm getting something like, I'm using 50 watts. I'm using half an amp on my DC, 0.6 amps at 85 volts. Let me just run a speed test on this and get it up to, I'm 2000 RPM at the minute. 2000 RPM at the minute. Put it up a bit more. 2,300. A little bit more. And here we are. Right, 2,500. The magic number is 2,593. And here we are. Okay, here we are, guys. 2,600 RPM. It should be. There you go. 2,600 RPM. Something like that. So now I've got my RPM. So my My core should be now resonating like buggery. I'm using, what are we using here? 111 volts at 0.6 amp. So I'm using about 65 watts on the DC side, and I'm using from the grid 45 watts to run this machine. So I'm paying for 45 watts, but it looks like I'm using 60 watts. So there we are. I don't know once we put a load on it, and we'll see what we get, because the load might then need a little bit more current to get it going, but we'll see on that one. So come on, Mr. James Ratatouille, let's get this transvestite so I can build one of these next. So there you go, guys. So far it's cost us €1, €1, say €50. Sewage pipe, a picture, and a capacitor. Capacitor is about €30, I reckon. So total at the moment, I'd say about, I don't know, €3, and say that's 50. €53 so far, guys. Now, and then we go to Polaris, $980, and build yourself a toroid winder and do it yourselves. So there you go. I shall keep you posted when I get the transvestite thing going. From Mr. James. Ta-da!